Hello everyone, it's Denise from Dobby Books. Welcome back. And tonight I just want to cover what I got at my library sale, which I haven't been to since September when I got COVID. So it's been a while. I'm still recovering from my cold, so don't worry, I'm going to edit out all those hacking fits that I get. And I want to really get straight to this. I had gone to the library. There were two books that I mentioned in my last video that I was going to look for, two books that I was going to be reading for the semester. I could not find them. I looked everywhere. For some reason, they're not there. But watch. Now that I've gotten new ones, I will find good used copies at the library the next time I go. But you know how that goes. So the first book I got is James Madison by Richard Brookhiser. He's not one of our presidents, but in the spirit of, reading about the presidents and our founding fathers, I thought it would be a good idea to get this. And I'm going to take my glasses off so I know what the heck I'm looking at. And briefly on the back, it says, James Madison led one of the most influential and prolific lives in American history, yet his role in the nation's founding is too often overlooked. In James Madison, eminent biographer Richard Brookhiser presents a penetrating portrait of this accomplished statesman, reaching deep beneath the veneer of history to explore Madison's rich and surprising life. Madison earned the nickname Father of the Constitution for his tireless efforts to ensure that the founding document was perfected according to his exacting standards. But as Brookhiser shows, Madison was also the father of politics, creating many of the concepts and institutions that are fixtures of political life. A celebrated biographer and historian of the founding era, Brookhiser sheds light not just on this foundational figure, but also on the origins of America itself. So this looked like definitely a book worth reading. So James Madison by Richard Brookhiser. The next one I found, I still don't recall if I listened to this as an audiobook or if I read it as an ebook, but I remember the impression it made on me when I first read it. It is by Dr. Brian Weiss. He is a psychiatrist. Many Lives, Many Masters, Messages from the Masters. And this covers his experience with a patient whom he was treating for some pretty pronounced mental health issues that she was going through. And in his standard hypnosis sessions that he had with many of his patients to help them go back to their childhood and figure out, what triggers this, she went farther back than that. She went to previous lives. And Dr. Brian Weiss was, until that point, very much the skeptic, did not believe in any of this stuff. But he writes of his experience in this book and what prompted him to continue on with these sessions to learn more, to see where she would go and what the outcome would be. This is the patient that Dr. Brian Weiss says is the one that helped him or initiated him into the belief of reincarnation. So again, Many Lives, Many Masters, Messages from the Masters by Brian Weiss, MD. The next one I got, now, let's see, I believe the remainder are new books. Now, these are books that I went to Barnes & Noble to get because the two books that I was looking for at the library I did not find. And as it happens, you know how it is when you go to a bookstore, you go for one thing and you just come out with a whole bunch of others. So yeah, this was another one. This is another book by Brian Jacques, and it is from the Redwall series. It's not book 2, it's book 3. You know what? I did get this from the library because I remember. This is the last book I got from the library. So this is Mattimeo. This is book number 3 of the Redwall series. Now that I've read book 1, I've been a bit inspired to read the rest in the series. I don't know if I'll get all the way through them. I'm not going to rush myself, but this is one of those series that I think I'd like to work my way through. I'm interested enough. I like Brian Jacques' writing. The The stories were very pleasant to read. And I can see this as being one of those reads that will help bring me through those times, especially during the semester when I'm feeling kind of brain dead and stressed. This will really help me to get over that bumpy side. So in the meantime, I'm going to be looking for the second book. What's the second book? Oh, Moss Flower. That's the title of the second book, right? Yes, Moss Flower. So I'll be looking for that. So 3 books from the library. And the rest of these books here are the books that I got at Barnes & Noble. First book I was looking for was by Philip Pullman, The Golden Compass. I made a mistake in my last video. I said the author of this book was George R. Martin. My bad. It's Philip Pullman. It's from his Dark Materials series. It's a trilogy. So I'm going to be using this during the semester for my YA class. Semester starts in 2 weeks. Ooh. The next book I got was Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I didn't want to use my hardback copy, which is very pretty and in a slipcase. So I'm going to use this paperback copy so that I don't worry about marking it up or anything. And this is by Benjamin Alire Sáenz. And the next book I got, this is a classic. I remember it might have been 5th grade or 6th grade, our social studies teacher reading this book aloud to us. And it was so interesting. None of us moved. We were just so caught up in this book. And it's entitled Go Ask Alice. And it's about a young girl's struggles with drug addiction. And I believe this was happening to her in the early 70s. No one knows who wrote it. It says anonymous, but apparently it is a story written by a real person. And I love how it was designed like a journal. The cover is kind of like a leatherette cover, kind of worn down in some places. And you see her journal entries. I think this is so, I saw this and I had to have it because it just brought back that memory from elementary school. Go Ask Alice by Anonymous. The next one I got from eBay. I've been wanting this for a while. It deals with history, social history, actually. And I thought, well, I'll get this when I get to that point in history. But because I was reading the book, now I can't remember, the book that I'm going to be using for my history class, for my historiography class, because it brought up the different historical philosophies and theories, I decided, go ahead and get the book. Why not? I'm learning about it. I might as well get a book that deals with that. And this was a book that was originally written, I believe, in 1960. First vintage edition, February 1966. And this is the this is the 43rd printing, but it's the original. It hasn't been revised or anything. It's entitled The Making of the English Working Class by E.P. Thompson. It's kind of thick. And it just, I can't really tell you a whole lot about it, just that it covers the social history of Britain. I believe this started, does it start in the 19th century or the 20th century? I don't know. But I like that instead of dealing with the traditional stuff that we read in history, the famous people, the politicians, and etc., this is dealing with the everyday person and how circumstances and history created a certain working class. In the Middle Ages, that is when the middle class was born. And but you don't hear a lot about that. And so in social history, they really try to focus on the everyday people and how what was happening around them affected them. So I finally got this book. This was about, I think, something roughly $25, like that, like $25 with tax and shipping. And last but not least, this was a Barnes & Noble purchase. This looked like such a sweet story. I just could not get it. It's entitled Dasher by Matt Tavares. if you just look at that cover, you see Dasher encountering Santa Claus, who has a horse pulling his sleigh. And I thought to myself, oh, this just looks so sweet. When Dasher was, recruited to help Santa Claus with his sleigh on Christmas, it just looks like such a tender and sweet story. I had to get it. This was 50% off, by the way, for those of you who might be interested. And it just has these, the illustrations are beautiful. I just think this would be a wonderful story to read to my granddaughters, or, of course, for me to read to myself because I'm such a big sap. Just wonderful illustrations. I'm going to look up the name of the illustrator for you. It's by Candlewick Press. Well, he's wrote an illustrated previous book, so I'm going to assume he's also the illustrator of this book. Dasher. And that's it, everyone. Those are the books that I ended up getting yesterday. And the next time we speak, I'm going to be going over some 2025 reflections and goals. As you know, that my holiday season is a little different, so I'm running a little behind when it comes to like the New Year's resolutions and stuff. I'm just now thinking that through. So the next video, I'll cover that, and I found a very interesting Substack that gave me some really good questions to ponder, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you my answers to that in relation to my TBR list for 2025. Stay healthy, everyone. Good night.